going to move further because I'm going to add those videos related to utilities very soon. Okay, various different utilities available which would be useful for every system programmer to know. Now, ultimate thing is like whenever we write a program, output of compiler which was known to us, like which is known to everybody in the world, rather generally it is assumed that output of compiler is an executable. But actually output of compiler is not an executable, but output of a compiler is some kind of machine code which is not executable. Now what happens is this particular code is taken later by a linker which in turn generates executable file at later stage. Now when we do talk about such a scenario, okay, so whenever we write a program, suppose if my program contains, let us pick a C program. So if my program contains these lines, so this is the code that I do have in my file. Integer a equal to 10, b, then b equal to 0, then there is a printf and so on. Now when we do talk about such kind of code rather, okay, considering this code available with us, so if we try to translate this code, so if I write gcc my program dot c, and we will always make use of this dash m32 option. So ultimately it generates an executable which is available. So
sir, screen is not visible.
Not visible. Physically दिख रहा है.
It is visible.
Okay.
Sir, no, sir, it's not.
One who is not able to see the screen, you can restart again. Okay. Yeah. So we compile a program rather using GCC, and in turn, like the GCC program takes care of internally a linker called LD, which creates an executable. So if I write ls-ltr command, so you can see at the bottom this file is created. Okay. So for some amount of time I may have to go and admit students, so that's why you will see some in and outs from the terminal, because students were supposed to join before 6:30, but they are joining. Okay, let us not worry much more about them. Yeah. So if a.out is generated, fine. Like my program was my program.c. The contents were like this. My program.c. It was containing two variables, integer a equal to 10, b, then b equal to 0, then printf hello everyone, and so on. Now when we do talk about such kind of code, when it is translated, okay, using GCC or linked together using GCC my program.c -m32, it created this file. Now if I try to see contents of this file, so I suddenly write a command called size a.out. Now my program is always divided into three different parts: text, data, and BSS. If you recall, what was BSS? Can anybody tell me what is BSS? What is BSS? It is block starting with symbol. Fine. And while we tried describing these three different things, text would be containing what? Text would be containing my code. Data would be containing initialized data values, which are global. And BSS contains values or variables which are declared as a global but haven't been initialized by us. Fine. So when we do talk about these three sections, ultimately our assembly code needs to be defined using this. So we will talk in today's session different aspects or components of an object file or assembly program components. Okay, is it visible now? Can you see a file?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have written assembly program components. Now let us try to find out what exactly those components are. So generally my program would be divided into three sections. Okay, mainly they are data, second one is BSS, and third one is text. Now some of you can make use of one more section here. So I will write 1A and 1B. This is RO data. Now this RO can tell us what exactly this RO is. Fine. RO is what? RO is what? Read only. Fine. So read only data and then data section. So when we do talk about these different data part, look, generally our data would be divided into three components, namely data, then RO data, correct? Data, then RO data, then BSS. What is BSS? Block starting with symbol. Fine. So every initialized value goes here. Okay, initialized value. Now everything which is constant, which is not going to change. So what are possibilities for the things which are not or which are constant or which are not constant? So whatever is not constant but initialized goes to data. Whatever is going to be constant but initialized goes here in RO data. So it is called as what? Read only data elements. Fine. So it is part of data section only. So you can write two different things. So let me show you how this RO data comes into picture. Fine. Now let us see one more time what my program contains. My program.c. How many statements are there in this code? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaving apart these curly brackets. So I do have something called as printf. Can you see that? So now if I try to generate an assembly code for this program, so how you write, how you get that assembly program? You have to write -S. Fine, and you press enter. So this command generates an assembly code for your .c code. Okay, assembly program for your .c program. So let us see this .s. Now see here. At the top you saw text, then global A variable declared, which is part of data section. It says its size is 4 because we declared a variable that way and we gave value to be 10. Okay, there was RO data, and if you recall, this is we included where? We included this in printf. So is this value going to change until and unless I make change in my source code? No, this will never change. This hello everyone, because it was part of my code. See here. Am I going to change this at runtime? This can never be changed. So that's why this is read only data. Fine. And if you carefully see one more time this code that we added there. Okay, I will show you the code that was generated here when we saw this my program.s. It says section.ro data .lc0. Now this .lc local constant. Okay, then there is it contains a value string which is written as hello everyone. So what if I add one more printf there? So let us try to do that. So we will write it gedit my program.c. I will show you that program after a while again. Okay, so this is our code. Now I have added two printfs over here. Can you see that? Two printfs. So now if I save this code and come out of this and again try to translate this code using gcc-s myprogram.c. Now if I go again and check myprogram.s, now see how many LCs are added. Earlier it was LC0, string was hello everyone. Then I added good evening, which is now LC1. So good evening. So these are said to be read only data elements and these are declared as internal variables named as LC0, LC1, LC2, and so on, depending upon the printfs that you used inside your code. Now, when we do talk about such a case, ultimately, these all kinds of things which we are going to make use of, you can include them into either a data section or you can write them into RO data. Now, how exactly this would be written? So let us try to see. So as we mentioned over there, there is one A and one B. So let me write this way. One A and one B. You may write only one of them, either data or RO data. Now, when I said one of them, by default, whenever you want to make use of variables inside your code, you are going to write always data. Okay, but messages which are to be included in printf kind of functions, even scanf kind of function, when we write %d. So I will show you one more time another thing as well with respect to that %d part. Okay, so let me open again gedit. And we will write here scanf %d. Now, how many constants are there? So let me write here B, ampersand B. How many constants are there right now? First constant was hello everyone. Second constant was good evening. And third constant would be now this %d. So you should see LC0, LC1 and LC2. Let us try to see whether are we getting them over there. So let me translate this code again by writing -s myprogram.c. We got .s file. So let us try to see this. Can you see LC2 even? This %d is added there. So everything which is part of scanf and printf kind of functions would be added into RO data. So you may exclude them by writing these declarations in your data section also. Fine. That is your choice whether you want to make use of RO data or you want to make use of data to write these kind of definitions. Fine. So if at all I have to write a code which prints this hello everyone, how am I going to do this in assembly code? Fine. So let us try to write. So I will upload these programs as well. So today's date is 24. So we'll write 240801.asm. So there is some problem with my machine in respect of Emacs. So I will try to resolve it very soon. Gedit this. Okay, so I will write first section dot data. I will write msg message. Okay, so let us write db. I will answer your query, Josna. Wait for a while. So this is my first trial. So let me write this. Fine. So my code contains what? A message. I am using this db to declare a string define byte, and this variable contains this value. Fine. Okay, let us go back to section.text. Now how your code will look like. So I will write here always global main. So all those who took AAP advanced assembly code should concentrate on this part as well. So we are going to see similar things there. Only few instructions would majority of instructions would be changing. So we want to make use of a function called printf. So you have to write always extern printf, because printf function is a library function given by libc. Okay, or included in libc. So we are going to call that function. That's why we are saying extern printf. Fine. Now you have to write code. Now what you want to print? So how your printf would be if you write in C? So it would be like printf, and then you will say, okay, this message is to be included like this. Correct? That's what our understanding is. So how will you write this code in assembly? So let us try to write this. So if you recall, when we write printf statement, printf, then bracket, then double quotes, then your message, then double quote complete, bracket complete, and then semicolon. So now try to see this definition or call to the function from right to left. So what you will get first? You will get string. So where is the string? Where is the string? It is in MSG. So you write push. You write MSG. Now you have to call a function called printf. Fine. And then how many values are pushed by us? 1. So every push, you can note down, I will write it here. Every push in a stack takes 4 bytes. How many bytes? 4. Correct. So now if you see, I have used semicolon. This semicolon means comment. Okay. And these things are necessary. Section, you have to write this section, then dot data, then your variable name, then data type. So we are declaring this as a character string. That's why we are writing DB. Then this is my first trial. Then section dot text, where you are going to include code. This section is a directive. This directive tells us, section dot data tells us that this is data. Dot text communicates that this is a code to be executed. So when we push, as I said, or as I mentioned, every push in a stack takes 4 bytes. So we have to remove those 4 bytes. So recall, everyone did data structure course. So in a stack, when you push something, you are going to pop it. Correct. And always whenever you are pushing something into the stack, now where this push goes? This push goes to system stack. Okay. And in detail, we are going to talk about it later. But right now only understand that whenever we have to make use of function, we have to pass on the parameters like this: push MSG, call printf. Now, as you pushed something, so you are going to pop. So instead of pop, we'll write something else. So I will show you what exactly it is. So let me add. Yeah. So instead of push pop, we are going to write this: add ESP comma 4. Now why this is added? Now this 4 is meant for this 4. Every push in a stack takes 4 bytes. So what happens is, ESP is one register which is called as stack pointer. Now how many registers are there? I will show you after a while. Only I want to relate a C code and assembly code right now in this session. So every push in a stack takes 4 bytes, and internally ESP is subtracted with 4. So when you write push MSG, actually you are saying what? Sub ESP comma 4. Fine. ESP comma 4. And again you are writing few things which apart from it, you are going to say that move ESP. Now this bracket tells at this address push this value as push this as a value. Okay, so ESP would be representing address. At that address, move this value represented by MSG. That's what you are going to write. So instead of writing these 2 statements, we simply write push MSG. So this push MSG will take care of deducting the stack pointer so that a push can happen. So every push in a stack takes 4 bytes, and then we have to remove them. So whenever we do talk about stack grows in upward direction. So if I talk about a timeline, so this timeline, for example, like this, say for example, your timeline starts with say -2, then -1, then 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. So if my stack pointer is here, suppose at 2, so I'm going to say ESP -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means here from address starting from 1, my value would be stored. Correct. And whenever we want to push pop, so if we want to pop, then we have to declare what? Bring back, like ESP is pointing here now. You add 4 into it, then you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, so that it will point here. Correct. So that's why we are writing this add ESP comma 4. So whenever you are calling a function, please note this, note that down. Whenever you are calling a function, I will write it here. When we call a function, see number of times push is used before call. Okay. 1 minute. When we call a function, see number of times push is used before call exactly. So you have to see. Now see, suppose for example your instructions are, few instructions are written here, and here you have push. So for example something as an example, and here you are having different instruction. For example XOR, then OR, and so on. So you are not going to talk about this push. You are going to talk about only push which is prior to call. So they may be 1, they may be 2, they may be 3. But if some other instruction comes in between, you are not going to consider that. Okay, so what number of parameters you are going to pass? So push MSG. So how many push we use here? 1. So for every push, 4 bytes are to be taken. So when we call a function, see number of time push is used before a call. Use add ESP comma count of push multiplied by 4. So if push is used twice, what will happen? If I use push here, for example, one more time, suppose one push A. So how many times push is there for printf? 2. So ultimately here you are going to write 2 multiplied by 4. So this would be 8 in that scenario. So if I use 3 push, 3 values to push, then ESP comma 12. So this count of push multiplied by 4. And this is to be considered only before what? The call function. Now here we have only one push. Fine. So you write add ESP comma 4. So this is how your first basic program would be. Now let us try to save this. Okay. Let us go back to our terminal. So let us see the program 240801.asm. Okay. So I assume you are able to see this program. Section.data message contains a value. This is my first trial. Section.text where my code starts. I communicate system that your execution should start from main push MSG, call printf, and we said that every push in a stack takes 4 bytes. So when we call a function, see number of times push is used before call. Use add ESP comma count of push multiplied by 4 after each call function. Okay, so let us try to translate this. How will you translate it? Note this down even. NASM dash elf felf 32, because we are trying to generate a 32-bit code. I will add a screenshot of this even on the Moodle course. NASM dash felf 32, and now our program is what? 24_08_101.asm. Fine. So it should generate now .o for you. So if I write 24 star, okay, let us see how many files are generated. We will use -l. Fine. Now see what this NASM generated, this .o file. Okay, so if I write file Chovis 240801. Oh, sorry. Now see, it is same thing which was shown to us earlier in previous session. Correct? ELF 32-bit LSB relocatable Intel 80386 version 1, no stripped or not stripped. Fine. Now you have to link this with a linker to generate an executable. So let me remove first a.out there, which is available. Fine. 1 minute. Yeah. Now GCC. Now write -m32. Okay. Then 2408_01.o. Write this .o. So if there are no errors, then it should generate a.out for you. ls-l a.out. Now you can see that this file is generated for us now. Correct? Now if I try to execute this, you simply write ./a.out and press enter. Now you will see the statement shown there. This is my first trial. Correct? So this is how you are going to make use of printf function inside an assembly code. So let us recall what we wrote inside a code. So let me take first screenshot of this. So let me show you lace24 underscore dot asm. Now see what this code contains. This code contains what? Section dot data, msg. This is my first trial. Section dot text, global main, extern printf, main, push msg, call printf. So my program contains only one, these two, and these three lines which are executables. Correct. Rest of them are like executable lines. Rest of them are comments. We will not consider them as a part of code. Rather, this is for just reading purpose. Okay, or for making that program interactive for the user to read. Okay, interactive in the sense of reading purpose. Fine. So now you must have seen rather while we displayed this output. Now I want what this should not. After this trial, this next my shell prompt should come to the next line. How can we do that? So let us try to make the change inside a code. Okay, now here after this msg, we wrote this definition. Add comma, simply write 10. This 10 leads to /n. Okay, and there is always end of string. So if you write, let us not write it for a while. Let us save this. What I added there after double quotes, I used comma and then put 10. So when you write inside a printf, this is my first trial /n, correct? So this is what I did now. So let us try to see how the change can be seen there. Let us try to generate an executable. So again, as we made the change in the assembly code, so we have to assemble that program again one more time, and then we have to link. Now if I write ./a.out, see, can you see effect of /n there? Now /n is represented by 10. Correct. Now let us add a few more statements in the printf. Okay, so let me take screenshot of this again. So we'll copy this program now, 2408.asm, 2408.2.asm. gedit 2408.02.asm. Now I am adding one more statement here. Second msg db hello everyone. Now trial is over. Let me add again comma 10. Fine. Now I will remove this because you understood it now. Okay, this part. So first function we used is this, like it should display us. This is my first trial. Now I want one more kind of call for push printf. So how will I write this? Sorry, I will write this. Now what is the variable that is to be passed now in second printf? It is like making use of two consecutive printf statements. Second msg. Fine. Now let us try to see what happens there. Can you see the change now? I used two printfs. First printf prints message, second printf prints this second msg. But we need to verify whether is it really generating it, fine, or executing it. So let us try to translate first. Sorry, I should use 2. Then I should use gcc .2. Fine. Note that this process will be same for us at least for few sessions. Okay. So we got now a.out. Now let me execute this. What happened here? Can you see what happened? How many times we gave call to the function? Now you may see here 3 things are shown. Okay. So whether those, why this is repeated, this would be a question for us now. Hello everyone and everyone. If you recall, we printed this first, but we never communicated the system that there is end of line character. Like we use /n, correct? So when we, let us see the code one more time. So let me show you that code. Now see this MSG, then whatever the address this MSG represent, first character, this is first address, second, third, fourth, and so on. It reaches here, then /n is added. Suddenly it goes to this hello. How the system will know that your first string ended here? /n tells what? /n tells only that there's a new line character. /n never tells that your string ended. So what is to be done for that case now? So let us make the change in the code. Okay, so let me make the change in the code. So let me go to gedit. I will simply add after this 10 something called a 0. Fine. What I did here, I added 0 there. Save. Now exit. Again, let me translate this. NASA. Then GCC. Now let us execute this. Now earlier it was showing this for first printf and this was second printf. Now this is first printf, this is second printf. Why this change can be seen there? Because we used /0, that means 0 string to communicate that end of line character occurred, and that's what is important here. Now let us try removing that 10 which we included there. Fine. So I will create one more program, copy. Any question till this? Josna was asking something. Let me try to see what her question was. Josna, you were saying something?
Yes, sir.
What was the problem?
Sir, I didn't understand. Like, sir, you told like RO data, right? So if there is no change, like if a user is giving any printf statement, so will it be RO data or will it be data?
Yeah. So like right now, you might have seen that I use specifically what here? I use data. So I'm not going to make use of RO data extensively, but if you talk about compiler, when it translates to assembly code, every line included in printf, scanf would be added as a part of RO data. So if you explicitly want as a programmer, you can include these kind of statements like this dot data thing. Everything can go into RO data. This is my first trial. Even if like if let me show you one another thing. I will copy this code and I will write again 24083.asm and I will make change to this 3. Okay, and I instead of data I will write it as instead of data I will write it as gedit. Instead of data I will write it as RO data. So let me write this RO data. Fine. What change I made here? I replaced data by RO data. There is not going to be any change in the execution of the code. Okay, let us translate this. So this is this is 3.24803.asm. What change we made here? Instead of data, we only changed it to RO data. Fine. NASA, then GCC and execute. No change. Everything is same. Correct. So this is particularly your choice whether you want to include such things which are not going to change in a printf. Now you may say when we use %d, do you want to say that %d will not change? %d would be replaced by some value. Okay, definitely it would be replaced by some value, but how exactly it would be done? So let me show you one thing which we will be talking in detail later, probably after a month or so, but I will give you some test of it. There is a command called strace. Okay, so let us see. You can note it down. Strace. This strace traces the system calls and signals. So if I write strace and a dot out, every printf that you write, this is my printf, correct? It is replaced by write call, write system call. Okay, we'll be talking about it later. Every printf or every message that you use inside a print function of a programming language internally converted to a system call called write, and it talks only about how many characters are to be printed. So even if you include %d, %d would not be taken as a value. Okay, everything would be considered as a character. Correct. So that is the reason why this RO data is to be, you may prefer to make use of RO data there. But again, it is your specific choice whether to use or not. So I will suggest you for few lectures at least, you may include RO data or you may not include RO data. RO data is to be used only for the messages which you are going to take inside a printf function. Is that okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you must have seen while we printed this, we used /n there, correct? So let me make the change in my code. So gedit 3.asm. So I will change this. I will remove this 10 from here. Okay, I'm removing. So you can keep this data or RO data, that is your choice. So I will keep it data for a while for not to make some confusions. I simply removed that 10 from here, which was added there, correct? Earlier there was a 10. I'm removing that 10 and I added only 0 there. That means what, we don't have any /n statement. So 2 consecutive printf. So let us see how exactly it reacts. Let us try to translate this code. NASM, then link together using GCC and now say execute. What is the problem? Can you differentiate earlier output? This one and this one. This was our earlier output. Now when we made the change by removing /n, there is a change. The second line is not displayed on consecutive next line. It is displayed in the same line. So only one line is printed. And then it added /n. That's why this shell prompt is shown on the next line. So you must have understood now what is the importance of 10. 10 is meant for 10 is meant for anybody? Can you answer? 10 is meant for
Line.
new line character. Correct? Yeah, /n. And 0 meant for 0 is meant for
end of line,
end of string or end of line. One can say end of string, better would be end of string. So let us say we will make this assumption now. 10 will tell us new line and 0 will tell us end of string or end of line. Fine. So let us say end of line only because everything inside double quotes should be considered as a string. Is that okay now? Now let us try to print a value. So let us take a code. So I will copy this code again. We will take fourth code. So my suggestion would be I will upload these programs very soon, today if possible, on our Moodle course site so that you can take copy of it and download it and try it for understanding the concepts. Fine. So let us go to gedit 240804.asm. Now here I am using something different now. Okay, I am changing this code. I am saying value is %d and I am using 10, 0. Fine. And I am using a variable here Okay, a variable a define double. This dd meant for 4 bytes. This db means for 1 byte. So 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, and so on. So if you recall earlier, it showed us. I will show you one more time what exactly it printed. Okay, but for a while, note down dd is meant for define double. That means 4 bytes. db means for 1 byte. Okay, so let us say 40. Let us take simple value, say 5. Fine. I will write here push A. Okay, how many push are there? How many push are there? 2. So how much value we should write here after add ESP? What should be the value? It should be 8. Why 8? Each push carries are considered for 4 bytes. How many values are pushed? 2. Correct. So how you write printf function? Why we wrote push A and push mhg later? So our printf looks like this. Printf value is %d and then A. Correct. This is how our C function would be. Correct. Printf. So first of all, you are going to go from right to left. So what comes first? A. So that's why you write A. Then next comes value is %d. So you write mhg, which is represented here, and then printf. So that's how printf would be called printf. And how many values are pushed? 2. So 2 multiplied by 4. So this is 8. Let us see what. Let us see what it shows. Let us try printing this. So let us assemble first. Let us link it and generate executable. Let us execute. What value is shown? It looks, have we given this value 14486 and so on? Rather no. We gave a simple value. What was the simple value? We gave 5. Okay, let us see this. What value we gave? 5. But it took what? Here it took this value. Now let me make a small change in my code. I will only write here this. Sorry. Fine. I will write only that one. So let us see. Sorry. Let us save this. I have added square bracket, A square bracket complete. So this square bracket tells value at. It is like star. Okay, if you write simply A, then it is address. Push space A. A is a variable name for us here. Correct. This is A. This A is variable name for us. So this A represents an address, which is a variable. Correct. So that's why we have to talk about this value. So you have to write square bracket A. So now let us save this code. Okay, let us go back. Let us try to translate NASM. What it said? Operation size not specified. Now why this is so? This is the error shown to us, correct? Now I'm making the change again in my code. Now see, what is the value here given? 5. How many bytes would we require to represent this value? Can you tell me? How many bytes would be required to represent this value? In a byte, single byte, we can write this value. Correct. Now if I add, suppose for example, if I add this value, fine, some value I gave. Now let me save this. What is the value? 5, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 preceded by 5. So let us try to NASM. What it said? It is going beyond the value. Correct. Okay. Let us go back in the code. Now let me remove this. Now I'm taking 567, 567. Save. Again translate. Again it is saying what? Operation size not specified. Now what exactly this means? Whenever you are trying to push this A, what it should pick from that address, because it is a 32-bit address. So you should write here D word. Why D word? This define double. So we are saying double word. Double word means what? DD means what? 4 bytes. DB means what? 1 byte. And DW means what? 2 bytes. So we are using 4 bytes. So that's why it should be D word, double word A. Now let us save this. Okay. And let us go back again to code. Now let us try to translate. Now problem is solved. Now if I have to link now, I will link it. And then execute. Now is the value shown there? Can you see that? How we achieved this? Because we achieved it by considering the change in our code with this D word. Push D word. That means what we are saying, push value at address A, which is a 4 byte value. This push D word tells what? Push a value at address represented by A in data section, which is a 4 byte value. Pick that value and store it into the stack. And that's what it says this. Here, why we write %d here? Because we know that this is integer. So if it is a float, what you write here? You write %f. If it is character, then you write %c. That means these representers tell us that what is the size that you wanted to print. Format specifiers, %d, %f, %c, and so on. Okay, sometimes you use long double LD as well, correct? So that is the reason why one could see this. Now, what if I want to print 5? So I will go here. I will change this value now back to 5. Let me save this. Let me come out of it. Let me translate. Let me link and then execute. Can you see 5 now? Yes, it is shown. So this is how you are going to print the value. Any questions? You can type in comment box if at all they are there. Any question, please? So I hope I reached everyone. So if there are any questions, you can post it into our WhatsApp group. Okay. Now I will try to address majority of questions on WhatsApp as well. So no need to always be online and try to find the answer. Don't worry about whether you are asking wrong question or right question. Whatever the question asked, I will try to answer each one of them. Any question? So if there are not, after 5 minutes, I'm going to end this. So if you have questions, you can ask me the questions. I'm going to upload this on Moodle, on Moodle course site of LLAP as well as Advanced Assembly Programming. So you can let me know. Ultimately, if you have questions, you can post in appropriate groups. Is that okay? If not, one can leave. After I say, you can leave. Fine. So if you have any questions, you can ultimately communicate me every time. Whenever you find time, you can put it on WhatsApp. I will try to resolve your queries at the earliest. Fine. Okay. At least after 6 o'clock, I can reply you, if not possible in the daytime. but you can always even call me. If I pick your call, I can answer your queries. Is that okay? So since there are no questions, looks LLAP is very easy course for us. Fine.